All right, here we go, number 2. Let's take a second and read our givens. CD is perpendicular to AB. If CD is perpendicular to AB, I'm just taking a look at where those fall on my diagram. And I know that perpendicular lines form right angles, so I should be able to get that those are right angles and therefore they're congruent. And then taking a look at the second given, CD bisects AB. That means AB, which is a segment, is cut in half and should form two congruent segments. So I should be able to say that this segment is congruent to that segment. And our other given is that AC is congruent to BC. So I can also mark those off as congruent, AC and BC. So let's go ahead and quickly set up a statements and reasons proof. And we can write down our givens, and still pretty sloppy, but I'm getting better. So CD is perpendicular to AB, and number 2, CD bisects AB, and number 3, I'm putting these all together, AC is congruent to BC. And these are segments, and these are segments, and I'm going to list 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to say given. Okay, so that's the easy part, the givens. Now I'm going to work with this first given. We already said that we know that perpendicular lines form right angles, so my next step is just to list those right angles. And I already marked them off in my diagram, and they are here and here. So I'm just going to say angle ADC and angle BDC are right. And I know that because of perpendicular lines form right angles. So definition of perpendicular. And then number 5. I know that all right angles are congruent, so now I can say that those two angles are congruent. ADC is congruent to angle BDC. And my reason is all right angles are congruent. Okay, so that takes me to my next given. And my next given is that CD bisects AB. And so I'm circling that in green, and I'm taking a look at where AB is and how it's cut in half. And the two congruent segments are this one here and this one here. So I should be able to list those as congruent. AD is congruent to BD. And that's from the given up here that's highlighted in green. So you're going to write down the reason for that on your own, fill that part in. And number 7, now if I look at what I have here, I have an angle, a side, and a side, congruent to an angle, a side, and a side, which gives me this. This is not allowed, people, so cross it out. I don't want to leave that on here. We can't do angle, side, side. But the angle happens to be a right angle. So we have two right triangles, and we have a hypotenuse congruent to a hypotenuse and a leg congruent to a leg in those two right triangles. So we can prove that those are congruent by hypotenuse leg. We like this much better than we like what I scribbled out over here. Okay, so we can't do angle side side, but we can do hypotenuse leg as long as that angle is a right angle. So your reason for number 7 is going to be hypotenuse leg. And in number 7, you should be able to say what you are trying to prove, that the two triangles are congruent by hypotenuse leg. Okay, so you're going to put that down here for number 7.